Okay, another cool feature for your landscape would be to add trees. So adding trees and manipulating trees is kind of fun. It's a little tricky, but you'll see a lot of tools that you can use. So first you want to click on the tree icon under the Create menu, and you'll have a tree there to start with, and you can position it where you want. Okay, and you want to bring it down into the ground because the roots show. And the standard tree that comes in looks pretty good, but I think you can make it look a little more believable and photorealistic. It looks a bit cartoony at first, the way it's lit and the colors. So again, I'm going to go in and show you how you can edit these trees and make them a little more convincing, or make them do more what you want them to do. Okay, so we're going to go into edit. And you notice you have this whole menu here. So you can manipulate the type, you can select the type of tree that you want to emulate. Okay, so you can try different shapes there. Okay, and you can manipulate all kinds of other shapes here. I don't think these change from one to the other here, but just wanted to see. Okay, you can change the density of the foliage. You can change the way the branches hang down, or how heavy they are. These, play with all of these sliders, and you'll see that each one does something unique to the trees. Not going to go into depth with all of them, but I think this is where you're going to find that you can make your trees a little more interesting and a little bit more random, I guess. You can randomize the branches a little more. So now you're getting something that's a little more believable, something lazier, like an oak tree that's been there for decades. But trees, if used judiciously and sparingly, I think trees add a lot to the landscape. But again, they're going to slow down your render times too. You can also change colors here in the boxes, although again, that gives you some unnatural looking colors. So just be careful how much you use those, especially if the rest of the landscape is pretty much earthy tones. Okay, so I'm going to just go for a nice dark green again, get it back to where it was. Okay. Okay, and you can bring the trees down further into the ground to hide the roots. Be nice to be able to have the roots stick out of the ground a little bit, but unfortunately these won't do that. You'll just see the roots at the stalk here, and it just doesn't look good. Okay, and again, notice the increasing render time here. I want to bring this up a little bit so it'll stand out a little more amongst the big mountains there. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So again, maybe a nice tree in the foreground here. Just to resize it just a little bit, so taking up a little too much room. Again, I want to try to get a darker green there, so to make it a little more convincing. Okay, so then the darker leaves I think blend in a little better with the landscape behind it. So um, so again, you can manipulate the colors, you can manipulate, how many leaves are on the tree, and that all can be found in the slider tools under edit of your tree. Okay, Move the mountains around just a little bit here. See if I can move this tree a bit. Not bad. I think it's a little too close to the center though. I want to bring it back to the edge here. And then maybe we'll put another tree in on the right hand side. So that's looking pretty good. It's a good realistic element in there. You can add a couple of trees here. Okay, obsessing here, I think. So looking good there. Let's try to add another kind of an old tree maybe. Now if you go to create and click on the arrow, you'll have a whole set of objects here that are ready-made. So I'm going to grab one of these ready-made trees under special trees. Again, that's under the create tab and the arrow. Okay, I'm looking for an ash. I think there's a cool ash in here. You have oak here, a maple. Maples are good too. But I want to find that ash tree. Did I miss it? There it is. Okay, ash tree. Yeah, that's what I wanted. This is a cool tree, and this is a fun one to use. To me, it looks pretty convincing for a model tree, you know. Okay, so we're going to bring this over on the other side maybe and see if we can make something happen here. Again, you want to bring it down, get rid of those roots sticking out of the bottom because it leaves a hollow spot down below too. And that looks pretty bad. This is a great tree. I really like this one. But try some and see what you like. See, it looks pretty convincing. Just sitting off on the side there. So just adding 2 trees into the landscape, I think I'm going to stop there. You know, gives the illusion that it's a very lush area, especially when you look at the mountains and you can see that there are trees on it from the distance. So in your landscape, you know, you may want to try to add some trees, but remember, again, the more trees you start to add, the longer your render times are going to be. So, but give that a try, and I think you'll see that you'll come up with some stunning results.